Hello, friends. Welcome to another Thursday Night Live. Let me know if you can hear me okay tonight or if there are any sound issues. We were having sound issues last time, so hopefully they're taken care of. Just let me know, all right? Tonight we are going to be making some beautiful card. We're going to make a beautiful card, and then I have a couple more to show you using the Delightful Wishes and the Floral Delight suite of products. And they're so beautiful. This is such a beautiful suite. I think you're going to absolutely love how delicate and elegant and just absolutely gorgeous this is. So shout out to all of you who are dealing with weather-related junk. Everyone who's been affected by winter storms, and then everyone, of course, in Southern California dealing with the opposite, with fires. So there's kind of a lot of cruddy stuff going on right now. So thinking about all of y'all today. If you are here and watching live, leave me a comment. Let me know if you're ready for spring. Or if you enjoy the winter. I'm kind of ready for spring, and I'm loving these spring looking cards. So if you're watching the replay, special welcome to you as well. I love that y'all come later and watch it when you can't be here with me live. I mean, I like being with y'all live, but if you can't be here live, I love that you come and watch later. So Kimberly, you just ordered this bundle. It's a great one. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and a lot of people ask me, they say, what does Onigo mean, right? Why Onigo Stamping? So I thought, I haven't explained it in a while. I thought tonight would be a good time. We'll dive into that just a little bit. Onigo is basically a combination of French and English, and it just means let's go. Let's go. Are you ready? Let's go. So to me, it embodies my ideas towards crafting, which is let's go. Let's dive in and do it and get started. And I truly believe that everyone can be crafty and artistic, and you just got to find the right stuff, and you have to be willing to jump in and try it and not be scared. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to make some beautiful handmade cards using stamps, ink, and paper. I'm going to make my space look a little bit bigger. It looks like we got lots of people jumping in. Hello, Christine and Lisa and Shannon and Melissa and Glenda. I am so glad y'all are here. All right. There we go. Now my space is looking just a little bit bigger. We can see this gorgeous stamp set. It's so pretty. What I love about this is it has this large word wishing. And I do not know why. I'm going to try cleaning off my lens again. I cleaned it right beforehand, but we're just going to do that. I don't think it helped. I don't know what's going on tonight. Anyway. Oh, in Turkish you say Heidi. Pronounced Heidi. Nice. All right. So this is the Delightful Wishes. And what I love is this big wishing. And then it has all these little words that you can put it with it. So you can do wishing you were here, wishing you all the best, wishing you a happy birthday, wishing lots of love, wishing you well. So just really cute stuff. And then there's these beautiful flowers that go with it. It, of course, has coordinating dies. And some of the dies are going to cut out the stamped images. They don't all quite fit on one. Some of them are going to cut out the stamped images, which is what we're going to do tonight. And then some of them are you can combine them to make images with just cardstock. And I'm going to show you an example of that as well. So I'm just going to set these aside. Along with the suite, there is also this gorgeous paper. So first there is vellum. There's two different kind of, I guess they're not both paper, but there's a vellum pack and a paper pack. So there's this vellum pack, and it is this gorgeous printed vellum, one with flowers, and then a blue gingham that's a little bit kind of hard to see. Where's my white? I have a piece of white here. There we go. Now we can see it. It's a blue gingham. So pretty. Heather, this is your favorite suite in the catalog. It is so gorgeous. And then, of course, like these beautiful flowers too. So really, really pretty vellum. And then there's pattern paper. And the pattern paper has flowers on one side, which are super pretty. And I just love the yellowness of this. It's all Daffodil Delight and Lemon Lolly and a little bit of Balmy Blue and some Old Olive. So, and then the other side is just some really simple patterns and things. And I love this gingham. I don't know what it is about gingham, but I love gingham. All right. let's get started. Let's start with some stamping. Should we start with some stamping? I just have a piece of basic white here, and I am going to stamp with, I'm going to start by stamping with some Daffodil Delight. And this is a 2-step stamping set. So we have 2 different stamps that are going to create this image. Okay. One is kind of the bold stamp, and then one is more of a detail stamp. So you don't normally like Yellow Lisa, but you're in love with this bundle. Yeah, right. So I'm going to ink up the bolder of those 2 stamps with Daffodil Delight. Oh, it's so pretty. And then I'm going to grab some peach pie, and I'm going to stamp up. I'm going to ink up, I should say, the darker. And I'm just going to try to lay this on here before I start. There we go. See, now I know which direction it is, because it can be a little bit hard to line up. And I always kind of look for the bottoms of the flowers. But I did practice this a few times. Really, if you're having trouble lining up these stamps, I really just suggest practicing a few times on some scrap paper. Stampin' Up's grid paper is perfect for that. So we'll see how we do. We can always stamp it again too. All right. Oh, not too bad. It's a little bit off down here, but it's fine. It's good enough. It also doesn't have to be perfect. So there we go. There's our yellow flowers. Aren't they pretty? And then I also want to stamp some old olive leaves. And I'm going to do a few of these. I think I want like 3. So we'll just do 1, 2, and 3. And then I want the sentiment that says "you well." Remember, it's going to say wishing in front of it. So it's going to say wishing you well, but this one is just going to say you well. And I'm going to just stamp this wherever, because I'm going to die cut this too. So I'm leaving plenty of space around it so I can die cut it. Right. That's all the stamping we're doing. Just like that. And we're going to die cut this in just a second. But I'm going to get ready a piece of pecan pie, because I'm actually, oh no, I forgot. I also need some, you know what I'm going to do? Oh, we're going to do a cheater method. This is going to be awesome. All right, I'm going to get ready my pecan pie first. And by getting ready, I mean putting some adhesive sheet on this. This adhesive sheet is just like, it's like a sheet of adhesive, right? Just like some flat adhesive, and it has paper on both sides of it. So you peel off one side of the paper and you stick it on your cardstock, and then you die cut whatever you want to die cut. And then you can peel off the other paper on the other side, and it will be sticky. So we're making stickers, which I love stickers. I love being able to make stickers. So that's what I'm doing here. And I forgot to cut. I need to cut out some Daffodil Delight, and I forgot to cut a piece of the Daffodil Delight. I'm just going to pull out a little bit more. And I'm going to cut this about, let's see. I'm going to cut it about 2 inches. We're just going to cut on this little like 2-inch bit here. That should be enough. And then this way, I'm going to cut it like 4.5. And what I am going to do, we're going to save a little bit of cardstock. See, I didn't get some out, but we're just going to save some cardstock instead. I have a piece. This is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And this is going to be a layer on my card. But we're going to layer over this whole top, right? Like almost, we're just going to have the border. So I'm going to cut the other piece I need from the center of this. So I'm thinking tonight. Well, I wasn't thinking, but my not thinking ahead has led to thinking. And you know what I'm going to do? So because I cut it so that there's not like the strip showing right there, or the break in the paper, I'm having a hard time getting it. But my favorite tool for that is one of the additions that you can get for the Take Your Pick tool. It's like a dental pick. But I think it's got a really thin end, and I find that it works pretty well, usually. There we go. For getting under there and getting that paper off. Ooh, it's sticking to me. Sticking. All right, there we go. So I just put that in the center of my yellow, my Daffodil Delight, and we're going to cut out. All right, let's do our die cutting now. Put my dental pick away, put the top on it before I pick my finger. And I need my cut and emboss plate. So I have the number 1 plate and number 2 plate, the little shimmy thing, and then the number 3 cutting plate. And I'm gonna have to run this a couple times. So I'm gonna start with a stamped image, and I'm gonna pull out this. This is gonna cut out those flowers. And then this one right here is going to cut out the leaves. This is going to cut out the sentiment. And oh, we need the little tiny wishing. And then there's a big wishing. So I think that's all we need. I'm going to line this up. Get this where I want it. Right there on top of the flowers. Grab myself a sticky note and just stick this down. Go. We're going to do the same with the leaves. See, I'm going to have to run this at least 3 times because I have 3 leaves. And I only have 1 die to cut out the leaves, which is too bad. It would have been nice to have a couple in this one, but oh well. It's okay. We have lots of cutting to do. All right, and then I have this for my sentiment. And I'm just going to make sure my sentiment is straight in there and make sure one side is where I want it, because we're going to run this through twice too. I'm going to show you a little trick for making pretty things. All right. Then we'll grab my piece of yellow, and in the center of the yellow, we're cutting out the background of the wishing. So that's like the bigger, bolder, thicker wishing. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it, making sure I'm getting the right spot. And I will put my other number 3 plate on top of there, and I'm going to run this through my cut and emboss machine. So, whoa. Get it started. All right, let's see what we got. So first of all, we have our thicker wishing. Oh, I did good. Look at that. All right, so this I'm going to save because we're going to use this for the background. All right, and I have one of the sets of leaves. Go. Now the flowers cut out kind of separately. Actually, you know what now? I'm just looking at this, making sure that I have all the flowers I need. I think I do. So they cut out a little bit separately. We're gonna use all of these though. So I want to carefully set those aside, not lose any of them. Always have to make sure that they are facing upward, because when I just see the white back, I overlook them. So, and then we need our sentiment piece. And I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to cut. I'm going to cut away some of this extra white just to make a little bit more space on my cut and emboss machine. Do any of you do that? You have times you want to really fill up your cut and emboss machine, because let's be honest, it takes a little bit of effort to run it through there. So filling it up means fewer times I have to push it through. All right, what I am going to do with my sentiment, check this out, because this is a great big long sentiment, but I do not want a great big long sentiment. I want a little itty bitty sentiment. So I am going to reline this up, and you can kind of feel it. I'll show the back, but you can feel it when it is in there, when it's nice and snug in there. So I'm going to reline that up and push it down to where I want it on this other side, so that my sentiment is kind of centered in there. And then I'm going to just sticky note it down so it stays put. All right. I also need this piece of pecan pie, and we're going to get our branch. We want our branch out of this, of course, and then the skinnier wishing. So there's 2 different wishings. One is kind of skinny and one is fatter. We're going to grab the skinny one, and then I'm also going to cut Another set of leaves. So line that up and put a sticky note on it to hold it in place. You can use masking tape or sticky note tape, whatever you want. I'm going to run this through the cut and emboss machine again. We're going to have to run it one more time after this. Can you hear the noise my cut and emboss machine makes? It does sometimes make a really big ka-thunk. That's okay. That's normal. They do that. All right. And we're going to have to pull that out. Here's this. Now, there are little tiny, teeny tiny. Can you see them? Little tiny dots on the eyes. Don't worry about them. I have a trick for doing something else because I can't deal with those tiny little dots. Yeah. It's just not happening. So I'm going to pull that out. Let's look at our sentiment. Oh, it kind of moved, but that's okay. So there we go. There's our sentiment. It did, you can see it, one side of it kind of moved. Bummer, but I'm not going to redo it. It's okay. It's close enough. Another set of leaves, and we're going to run this through one more time. I'm going to flip my plate. I'm going to run this through one more time to get my other pair of leaves out of here. So stick that down, run it through, and then we're going to be ready for assembly. Come on. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Hello, Ruth and Sherry. Why do I flip my plate, Vicki? All right. I flip my plate because the plates want to warp. Okay. So I do a couple things to help keep them from warping. And you can see my plate is extremely well used and it is still very straight. Okay. So I do two different things to help with that. One is I flip my plate occasionally. When it starts to, can you see it's kind of starting to bump up right there? So I had done it on this side a few times and I just went ahead and flipped it over. So flipping your plate can help, okay, with the warping. The other thing that you can do, which I think helps even more than flipping it, is that as much as I can, I try to cut towards the corners. So you notice when I was doing that leaf, I kind of did it all the way to the edge instead of doing it right here in the middle. If you always cut right here in the middle, it's really, really going to warp because you're always having that extra pressure, that extra bump in the same place, which is going to push your plate out. And some dies are really big and they're always going to go, like they're going to take up that much space. So if you're using the small ones though, you want to make sure that you're pushing towards the outside. So you're doing cutting on the outside and the middle, and you're kind of spreading that cutting evenly across the surface. And that's going to help keep your plates nice and flat. All right. Let's get the branch out of here and then we're gonna assemble. I'm gonna take my take your pick tool and just pop that out. Let's pop it right out. There we go. There's our branch. All right. So I have that piece of Daffodil Delight. And yeah, Vicki, definitely don't start in the middle, start on the edge. So it can be harder. Like if you're having trouble getting it starting, sometimes you have to, right? Like there's reasons you have to, but I try not to as much as possible. So I have a piece of the pattern paper. This is 3 inches by, I think it was supposed to be 5 1/8, but this looks like 5 1/4. So I need to cut it. Oh, I'm glad I noticed that. It's supposed to be 5 1/8. So it's 3 inches by 5 1/8, or it will be 5 1/8 now. And we're going to adhere this to our piece of Daffodil Delight. And I'm not going to put any glue over here because I don't want it to go through that hole. And I'm just going to line this up on the right side of my cardstock, leaving a little even border around 3 sides. And then I have another piece, and this is 1 inch by hopefully 5 1/8. Yep. And I'm going to just adhere this to this other side. So put some adhesive in here. I think I totally put that in the wrong spot, but it's okay. Yep, see, I did. I put it on the wrong side. So I kind of want it going up like this. Oh, you know what? Shoot. I'm going to stop that. I'm going to stop it just a minute. So Vicki, if you want to try to get your plates flatter, you can start rotating them and start cutting towards the edge. And it depends on how bad they are. That might be enough to get it better. All right, I forgot. I actually want to put the branch on first. So before I put that down, I'm glad I caught that. I'm going to peel the back. Remember, we made this into a sticker. So I'm just peeling off the back of my sticker. And then I'm going to adhere this like that. So we have a nice branch on there. And I'm going to cut this side off because we don't need it. We don't need it sticking out there. So now we have a branch on there. And now I will actually glue my piece on. That's just going to cover up that side of the branch. I wanted it to feel like the branch was coming in. Actually, I don't want this little. I don't want that little bit of the branch. I'm just going to trim it off. I just made it go away. I didn't want that part of the branch. All right. In this suite, in this Floral Delight suite, there is also this 1/8 inch. I think it's 1/8 inch. Yep. Satin ribbon. It's Daffodil Delight. Sadly, it is already a back order. It's out of stock right now. So hopefully they will get it back in a couple weeks. And I'm just going to cut this just a little bit longer than my layer. And we're just going to tape it in place. I'm not tying it tonight. I just want a straight, flat edge. So if you wanted to remake this card and you wanted to do it before this ribbon was available, you could actually just use a piece of cardstock. All right. So we're going to put that ribbon on there. And then I'll come down here and pop this on the other side. There we go. So we just tape that on there, making it look pretty. All right. We're still building. So now I have my yellow wishing, which is the wider, thicker one. And then I have the pecan pie wishing, which is the super skinny one. And I'm going to pull the paper off the back of there too. And then I'm going to try to very carefully put this on here. Now, as you're pulling that paper off, it does have a tendency to kind of stretch it out, okay? Because this is so, the script is so thin. So as you're laying it back down, you just kind of want to put it in the right place and it will go back in. Okay. So just letter by letter, lay it on there, get it where it needs to go. You got to kind of, wrangle it, tell it to behave. So you can see that end, like, isn't quite where I want it. It's kind of funky. All right, there we go. So I just kind of move that into place, move our G into place, squish it over where we want it, and there we go. There's our wishing. So you do have to just kind of play with it a little bit, get it in the right spot. All right, now we'll peel the adhesive sheet off the back of here. Peel the backing off again. And there's our word wishing. And this, I'm going to set, on here. I'm just trying to decide how I want to put it. I really don't want that eye right. Come here, little G. There we go. That's kind of closer to what I wanted. All right. I'm going to put something on that eye and I didn't want it right on the ribbon. So there we go. There's our wishing. And now we're going to add the other part of the sentiment. So it says, wishing you well. Just going to go, you know what? This is it's too at an angle. So this is going to get really permanent with that adhesive sheet on there. But if you kind of catch it before before it sat there very long, you can move it. There we go. I'm going to use some mini dimensionals and put this on with little mini dimensionals. All the way over here. I think maybe one. I'm kind of offsetting that. Can you see that? So I kind of offset that. That way I'm trying to avoid getting it right on the G. That's going to go right in there. How's everyone doing? Are you sticking with me? Hopefully you are. I know we're going kind of long tonight, I feel like. So there we go. And now we're going to play with these flowers. We're going to get these flowers on here. So we're going to use dimensionals on these too. So I'm going to use big dimensionals on this one. So this is the biggest kind of set of flowers. Lisa, you're sticking with me. All right, good deal. We'll pop these backs off. We'll see how I do building these tonight. So there we go. And then, let's see, I kind of want this one over here. And then this one in here. I'm just laying them out, making sure I know what I want to do. Maybe this one kind of up here. All right. That'll work. So let's put in this kind of biggish one. This one, I think I have to switch to minis. Leanne and Ruth, you're here too. Awesome. All right, so we're going to switch to minis because these are pretty small flowers. Might have to start putting these on with my take your pick tool because I feel like they're so tiny. All right, let's see if I can fit a whole mini on here. Oh, I can. Just barely though. Just putting that one in there, and then we have this flower, and then we're going to add some leaves because I feel like those flowers kind of they kind of blend in, right, to the background. But I think you're going to see once we put the leaves on, it really kind of helps it pop. So there we go. So now, and I'm going to glue the leaves on. I'm going to kind of tuck them underneath. So this one, we're going to pop in here. And we have another one. And I'm just using a little green glue on these. Oh, Sherry, you're liking it. Isn't that pretty? I'm just going to slide this in here. There we go. Up a little bit. And then we have one more, and I think I should have put this one on first. Oh, it's going to fit in there. A little green glue on that one. And we're just going to slide it underneath. So it's under like that. There's our beautiful flowers, but I still think like they just, I don't know, they don't have any centers. So we're going to fix that, but I'm going to adhere this to our card front first. I have a piece of lemon lolly cardstock. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Your basic card base. You have fat fingers and nails, so you take your pick tool. Yes, the take your pick tool can really help if you're having trouble. You know what? This adhesive is right in the middle, so I'm going to use it. Like it's already there. We're going to use it. It's got some Scotch tape on it, but that's okay. There we go. Use the adhesive that's there. Right? Right. Should peel that off before I put the tape on. Oops. But I do want to go around the outside. These edges. It's like the hole was meant for it, isn't it? All right. There we go. And pop that on there. And now we're going to make this pretty. Not that it's not pretty already, but we're going to make it even prettier. And I forgot to get out my embellishments before I started, of course. Right. So I'm using the antique pearls. These are not in this suite of products. In this suite of products, the embellishment is these little bees, these little teeny tiny bees. I don't know if you can see those. Aren't those adorable? They're so cute. I'm not using them on this project though. I'm going to use them next week. I'm doing a project next week. We're going to use them next week. Now this set, we are using it for the Stampin' Cross Country online retreat the last weekend of February. If you have not registered yet, today is the last day for early bird pricing. So if you're watching me live and you haven't registered yet, pop over and get registered. This is one of the bundles we're going to use, and it's so pretty. And all the projects, I've seen the projects already. They're super pretty. They're super pretty too. So highly recommend it. All right. So I put some centers in those flowers. Doesn't that really help it kind of pop a little bit? And then I need to add some dots to my eyes. So I'm going to grab my dark pecan pie, and I'm just going to color these. Maybe I should have colored the ones in the flowers. I don't know. Tell me what you think, if I should have colored those ones brown too. I'm just putting a couple layers of dark pecan pie on there. And what I love is that even though you've colored it, it still keeps that like shiny sheen to it. So I think that's super pretty. And we'll just pop these on the tops of the eyes. There we go. Didn't have to deal with those teeny tiny eye things. Let's get that out of the way. I think it's messing with the light. So there we go. There is our card. Isn't that pretty? Wishing you well with those gorgeous flowers. I don't know. Just so, I just love this set. You love this set too, Sherry? I know. It's so beautiful. Let me show you the other cards I have. So this one we stamped and die cut. Now this one, I created the flowers just by die cutting the cardstock. So a little bit different look, kind of the same colors, but I die cut the cardstock instead of stamping. So isn't that fun? And then we still got this beautiful pattern paper. Oh, all right. And then my last one, I didn't stamp at all or really die cut. A bit tiny for arthritis thumbs. I understand, Carol. Yeah, it can be a little bit fiddly, this one. I agree. All right, so for this one, I cut these. I fussy cut them. I did. I fussy cut them. I fussy cut them out of the pattern paper, but isn't that pretty? Normally, you know, that's a little bit detailed for me for fussy cutting, but it was not bad. And then this is that vellum. So you can see the edges. Like I only put adhesive under the center. So those edges are kind of popping up and looking really pretty. And then this arch, you see that arch that's behind there? That is the new Everyday Arches dies. And those are an online exclusive. So they're super pretty. And then I just stamped the happy birthday. So the sentiment says you a happy birthday, because it's supposed to be like wishing you a happy birthday. And I just inked the happy birthday. So it would just say happy birthday instead. So there we go. There are my 3 cards using the Delightful Wishes. I forget the name of this set like all the time. It's so pretty, but I forget the name of it. Anyway, this is the Delightful Wishes. Those are my 3 cards for this evening. Thank you all for joining me. I am so glad that you are here. As I said, we're going to be using this set for the Stampin' Cross Country online retreat. So if you haven't registered, go register for that so you can make some more cards with this. And I will be back next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday, we are back to Stamp With Me Tuesday. And we're going to be making a fun fold card. So watch for the dimensions that you need for that card on Monday afternoon in the description to the video. And have a fabulous weekend and stay safe out there.